Hey guys, quick reminder before we hop into the video that Imperium Duelists will be releasing their Quest Water Dragon deck box on the 22nd, not the 29th. The date did change. So yeah, I just want to let you guys know it'll be available for sale on the 22nd at 6 p.m. Pacific. Don't forget to use my discount code and enjoy the video. What's going on, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new video. We're actually doing this one live on Twitch. And it'll be uploaded to YouTube a couple days later. So if you guys were here for the live stream, I really appreciate it. I don't stream that often, so everybody that showed up, I want to say a thank you in advance for showing up and catching it live. But also, if you're watching this on YouTube, again, I appreciate that as well. But I am bringing you guys a live tournament report and deck profile for my undefeated Marincess Shark list that I played in my second online cash tournament now. We have them hosted locally by my friend Dalen Pitkin, who actually got top 16 at the North American Championship. He kind of hosts them locally for us to have a chance to play competitively outside of locals and put a little something extra on the line. And I think this was his 14th tournament, 16-man. One previously, I went undefeated. This one, I also went undefeated with Marincess Shark. The first one was pure, this one was Shark. I think this list is much better. I definitely think this list even could be improved much more.
Marincess.
Definitely think it could be improved more. And I'll show you guys what my list looks like currently, at least the list that I'm testing currently. But I played 7 rounds and went 7-0. And I have the replays obviously here on DB, and we'll go over those in as much detail as I feel necessary. I'll talk about the things that I liked and the things that I didn't like, and any other important interactions, and maybe answer some questions that get asked in the chat. So that's pretty much all I want to say. So yeah, this is the deck list. This deck list will probably look familiar because this is the same deck list that I profiled a couple weeks ago on the channel. And I think in that video I said I was in a cash tournament. We didn't get to wrap it up until after Nats, because I had to wait for the losers bracket to wrap up, and they didn't play their match until afterward. And I played the finals last night and won 2-0. So yeah, this is the same list as in that profile. So I'm not gonna. I had to let the temple walk because of called by. This is why I kind of don't like this card in this deck. But I get it. It's like a necessary evil at the end of the day. But if I would have ashed that Enchantress, I think I would have been in there. Yeah, for sure would have been in there. But it is what it is. Just gonna start doing Plant Therion combos. I dropped the Nibiru on him before he can get access to Regulus. At least for I think he can get access to Regulus, and now he's gonna start doing adventurer stuff and go for Regulus equip. Gets the Draco back here. Gets the Griffin Rider, and the token is 8,031. I don't know why he didn't just bounce the Nibiru and swing. He kind of took forever to do that. He's just kind of drawing it out. He could have ended the game much quicker, but here we are in game 2. He opens up Laurel, Fateful, Lightning Storm, Right, and Lily. I open up Anti-Spell, Ash, Dive, Seahorse, and Spring Girl. A much better hand than we had in game 1. My opponent doesn't have any hand traps, but he does have, going second card, which is kind of nice. We already have the Dive, obviously, so we're going to go grab the Battle Ocean. Go into Anemone, revive that. Go into Triangle, get the add back, and equip. Discard, search the wave, and go ahead and dive, summon out Pascalis. Pascalis brings out the Spring Girl. At this, this is a very risky play here. I was I could just go for Argonaut, and if he has Nib, I have somewhat of a follow-up to go into Iria and pass on that. But I was you know what, we're just gonna go for the rank 4 play, and luckily he didn't have Nibiru. So yeah, that kind of comes in clutch there. We have the Anti-Spell, which is gonna shut off a good chunk of his hand. And even if this my hand is busted as fuck, yeah, it's pretty good. The thing here is though, like I said, I thought earlier I said this should have been Gozen match probably. You're thinking like, oh, I might lose outright to the Lightning Storm, but obviously we have Lily, or not Lily, Toad and Argonaut to negate, plus Wave Ash. So even if you led with the Lightning Storm, you know, the Gozen match is gonna just put in like an insane amount of work against the deck. He tries to Lily attack over. I remind him that Argonaut's preventing him from doing anything else. He tries to use Laurel again, like it's hard once per turn. Pascalis is going to go add back the dive, and then we just kind of clear things up from here. Mill 2, mill the Seahorse, burn for 200. Use the Spring Girl, summon out, go for Splash Mage, bring back, go for Anemone. Got a step ahead there. Bring back the Splash, go for Bubble Reef, and add back. Then summon. And then I think this was just battle phase game right here. And I was you know, willing to go so far to extend that much because I had the Toad, so we had to have 2 hand traps to be able to let a Nibiru go through. And then here we are in game 3. My opponent leads a Small World and misclicked quite a bit here. Yeah, so the Droll, as you guys might imagine, is going to put in a ton of work. Yeah, Droll on res, that's pain. What you might expect. Yeah, it's definitely pain. And the Harpy's Feather Duster is the 6th card. I got a little lucky there. I'm like, okay, I can only activate 1 spell or trap. Let's just... Yeah, the Rose Whip is cute, but like... I don't really need to activate any other spells right now. Because I opened Pascalis, that's just going to help me extend quite a bit. We'll grab the dive for later. And my opponent just scoops before I can go any further. Yeah, that was round 1. Round 2, I played against my friend Partho, aka Silly Goose Express. He is the DDD man. He is the CEO of CEOs. And opening hands, we have Dive for me, Wave, Nib, Battle Ocean, Droplet, and my opponent opened up Puri Reyes Map, Dog, Contract with the Gate, Copernicus, and Vice King Requiem. And you're going to see me make a very interesting decision when it comes to the going second card in my hand. You guys will see what I mean by that. So he's going to go map, pay half, go search Kepler. Kepler gets the other continuous. And this deck has a few ways to play around Nib. You can either make Baron very early, or you can make the rank 6... Like, they can't always make the rank 6 very early, but they can make the rank 6 before they commit even further into the play, and the rank 6 obviously stops Nibiru. This card's also kind of nice against this deck, strictly because of it can stop Wave and Imperm, so this card's kind of cool. He goes for the, you know, Link 2, pay 1,000, go for the Contract, and right there, when he summoned the Flame King Genghis, he was like, do you have any response here? And I was like, for some reason, I didn't register Dog as a level 6. So I was like, I could just hold the Nib, right? He's not going to... I don't see him making the rank 6 right now. And then literally the next thing he does is make the rank 6. So that was a huge misplay. But I was like, you know what? Never punished. I have Droplet already in hand. So I can just hold the Nibiru and use it as Droplet fodder. So we're just going to let him combo. As soon as I did that, I was like, wow, this literally... would probably cost me the game, and I wouldn't even be shocked. But he ends on this really strong board: Headhunt, Machina X, and the High King Caesar. I think I drew Spring Girl for turn, which is nice. I was like, I need to open up a name at least. I go Droplet for 2, hitting both of these. I get rid of the Nibiru, obviously, and then he takes the Spring Girl frame 1, and I was like, okay, that's fine. Like that right there, I don't want to say is incorrect, because that definitely like can be a very correct thing to do, especially that puts me on normal summon. Like, I already used my normal summon. Like, literally the only thing I think I could have to keep going would be this combination of cards. So I don't even blame him, but I just had it. And then I'm basically just going to combo into a giant Bubble Reef and attack over for game, since he's only at 3,000. So you guys will see that. Hey, Winter, one of my friends is looking at buying your permafrost mat and was asking about the quality of the fabric used. It's very good fabric. I actually used it at locals the other day. Very soft, it's durable, and I would recommend it. If he does end up picking it up, I greatly appreciate it. So yeah, you can just see that was just OTK there basically. And this game here, shout out to my friend Dan, because he's the person that showed me the line that I should have took to win this game, and I basically threw. So you're just gonna see my opponent combo. We ogre the contract, and I think I'm just saving. Oh yeah, this was a point of contention here. I was like, do I Valor the Genghis and let him get a body? Like Valoring there was weird because like he could get Copernicus out, and then Copernicus can dump, and then he can fusion for like another Genghis, and then make the Caesar. Like I don't even think he needed to go for like what's it called there, a Gilgamesh play potentially, had I let that go through. So I do Valor it, and it forces him to go through it for a Gilgamesh play afterwards, I think. DDD is still a deck that I just like, I know what to hand trap for the most part, but it's determining like what kind of line they're going for and what they can do past a certain hand trap based on what they have in play. Like I can't read that far into it. Like I definitely don't have as much experience against this deck as I would like to, but luckily we have a very dedicated DDD player in our local scene. So again, shout out to Partho. But like I said, shout out to my friend Dan for showing me the line that I should have taken, and we'll get to that once his combo wraps up here. So like the end board is pretty much the same here still. Like it was still Mach-X. Well, my Valor might have made his end board worse. DDD veterans could probably tell me in the comments. And literally, my friend Partho can vouch for me. He was like, he heard me say, I was like, what are the odds that the set card is Headhunt? I'm pretty sure this is a one of them. Like, what are the odds? So the play here was to just Signet Mining, ditch the Angler, and not chain Droplet. Droplet here was kind of a throw because, like, you gotta read, Mike. You gotta slow down and read. This card says you can detach either 2 materials in this card or destroy a Dark Contract card you control, which he does not have Dark Contracts to destroy, and he does not have 2 materials underneath it. Yeah, reading, right? A Yu-Gi-Oh player's biggest weakness. Yeah, this isn't a contract. So like this, he literally cannot use Divisor right now. And I decided to just Droplet it for some reason. And I grabbed Blue Tang. So I lose the game here to the Headhunt. Shocker, right? What I should have done is gone Signet Mining, grab Pascalis, and then normal summon Pascalis. He goes Headhunt. I chain Droplet, sending the Pascalis to negate the Mach-X, just because I have to negate something, right? And then Mandarin still summons, and then we go for, Sea Angel. Sea Angel gets dived to bring back, and then we can go Anemone, bring that back, and then Mandarin bring itself back, and we can basically do our full combo there. The only thing is it probably would have been a little tough to clear this. That's the only thing. I'm just also, like, if we were able to keep the Silent Angler somehow, I don't know. Opening this was kind of rough again, but, like, I would have had a play past the Headhunt had I searched the Pascalis, I guess, which is the point I'm trying to make. But since I opted to search the Blue Tang, I literally just lost on the spot, so big difference there in what you search, right? So we go to game 3, and we see the God card, Anti-Spell, which, I mean, honestly, this card probably should be banned. I wouldn't blame them for banning this card, to be honest. But game 3, go first. My opponent doesn't play hand traps. Like, I know him well enough to the point where, like, in a lot of his decks that he chooses to build, he just, like, combo decks especially, he just doesn't play hand traps. Like, he just stays strapped with the Droplet. So I was like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't play hand traps. I'm going to play like he doesn't play hand traps for the most part. just because, like, I know him, right? So, that's the kind of an advantage you can have in these smaller tournaments sometimes. Like, you know your opponent, you can kind of guess what they're on and their play style. So we just go for, like, a rank 4 combo here. Get the early Toad. And yeah, this is just going to be full combo. There's pretty much nothing else to say here. Pitch, grab wave. Bring back, go for Bubble Reef. And I go for the Bubble Reef here because, you know, I don't have access to, what's it called? Sleepy Maiden. I don't have access to Battle Ocean. My opponent does have Droplet, sending 2, which is like, okay, that kind of hurts. And this puts me in a very rough position here. And I guess you could argue this is where Gozen match would be, like, way better. Gozen match could be way better here. But him having the High King Genghis checks the wave, which is really strong. And you're going to see him bring back the Rage. And this has an effect on field. It says, you contribute one other monster, apply one of these effects until the end of this turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in the spell and trap zones. This card can attack directly, or your opponent cannot activate card effects in their hand or graveyard. So he didn't use this here, which is kind of insane. And I think that was like his 5th summon or something. It was very early, but he didn't use the effect, which was definitely a big misplay on his part. And the Nibiru is just going to be a huge punish. He's able to clear the anti-spell mid-combo. Rage's controller doesn't even need to say which effect they want to resolve. Buy one of these effects. That's pretty insane. But yeah, he definitely misplayed there. He told me after the effect. Oh, on activation. Yeah, I mean, he told me after the fact that was a big misplay, and we have the rock, and that's just like huge, obviously, as you can imagine. 11,400 attack token, also kind of insane. So we get back our Spring Girl, and he doesn't have any Waters Engrave. Go for Anemone. Anemone brings back the Sea Angel. We use a Mandarin. Go for Marbled Rock. Add back. Link. Search. Search. Go for Link 4. Summon from deck. Get Maiden. Bounce. And then put 2 attack and swing for game. So yeah. He misplayed quite a bit there. I'm trying to think of a world like, or if I go wave. Like if he does use Rage, like I have to chain wave. And then he chains the negate. And then I can't use Nibiru there, which is just like kind of rough. Very, very rough. Yeah. It is what it is though. Very easily could have lost that one. But next round I played against my friend Adam on Sword Soul. This is a pretty straightforward match. I opened up literally unplayable, and I know everybody's gonna say, oh, see, look, Abyss Shark bricked you. I just want to say this again. The Shark package, no matter how you build the deck, this engine doesn't take away from Marincess names at all. It's still 14 to 15 names, Shark package or not. The only thing the Shark, like taking out the Shark package does is lets you play more defensive cards or generic cards like Desires. That's the only thing it lets you fit in. So this could technically have been a Desires, which maybe gets me to a playable hand. Or this also could have been a hand trap, which makes it so I still can't play. So we drop with the Moyi. He has Circle. I chain Ash. And because you have to Ash the Circle, this card's insane. It says Tribute Worm, add a Worm. Kind of a nice card. He has Desires, which is really strong. And he chooses not to play into the Nibiru, which is very smart. Doesn't summon token with Longyun. Goes for Baron. And yeah, I think I drew my next card there, and it wasn't going to be enough. Even if it was, like, I don't even know what card it would be to be enough, to be totally honest. Game 2 here. Go Sign Up Mining, pitch Valor. He chains Ash. We chain Called By. We get our Blue Tang and Pascalis combo here, which is pretty above average. We go for the shark, and then go for this, and then mill the wave too, which is kind of funny. So now I don't technically need to make triangle. I can make marbled rock, although sometimes I'm very tempted to still even make this card just because of the follow-up is very good, and I still opt to do that here. Get a Spring Girl, and I also don't go for the Argonaut, again, because I don't have a way to make it a spell trap negate. My opponent bricked a high hell, so he just scoops. Very, very unfortunate. And then we're going to do a game 3 situation. We have Valor Ash, which is pretty strong. He's going to start with the Adhara, go for Vessel. We Ash the Vessel. Moe reveal, and then activate Valor, and then he passes turn. You know, I've played Sword Soul very extensively, so I know where to hand trap, so it wasn't hard to try and stop his play there. He does have the anti-spell, which turns off the Signet Mining or potential Battle Ocean or Dive, but luckily for me, I do have plenty of names here to keep going past it, and I mill a Token Collector off of the Spring Girl, which is kind of hilarious. One of the real cool synergies you can do with this deck is playing like side deck cards that you can technically search by milling them off the Spring Girl. We have the Sleeping Maiden there to be able to get into the Argonaut, to be able to negate. I mean, and then he scoops next turn. He said, honestly, he could have played through the board. It was just the Collector that really put the nail in the coffin there, which I totally understand. Like, I played Sword, so like I said, I know that card's kind of a huge pain. I also should not have made Argonaut. Making Argonaut makes absolutely no sense. There's an anti-spell on the field. Any spell or trap that you could draw this turn, he can't even use. Unless he outs his own anti-spell, which I doubt he'd be able to do within the position that he's in. And then on top of that, if he were to be able to act anything on my turn, if anti-spell is still up, which he wouldn't be able to do, even for some reason he could, I couldn't negate them. Yeah, and that was just the match. Shout out to my friend Adam. And then we'll go to the next round. Played against my other friend Adam P. Fruch, Artio. This match was, you guys will see. Main deck Nibiru, which I thought was kind of interesting after the fact. Goki got here. What's up, man? Valor Aluber, pass turn. And right here, you're going to see it. You're going to see it right here. Blue Tang plus Abyss Shark. Like, I've had people tell me, that, oh, you can play Marincess and still end on ranked 4s without the Shark package. Like, you can do the same end boards, right, without the Shark stuff. You don't need to play it. But there's a huge difference in what the Shark engine allows you to do versus what Marincess can just allow you to do on its own. Anybody that plays Marincess competitively knows that the hand trap that hurts this deck the most is Nibiru, and people who don't think that are just lying, or they don't know the deck well enough, or they're playing against robots. Nibiru is a super high impact hand trap against this deck. Yes, you can make Bahamut into Toad in this deck, but a lot of the combos that allow you to do that naturally are like 3+ card combos, like to make Toad on the 5th summon. Because in my opinion, that's the only way this deck actually beats Nibiru. Like saying that your build can summon Toad later in the combo has no weight, just because like they're not gonna let you summon Toad if it's past 5th summon. Like, they're gonna see Bahamut Shark and then they're gonna Nibiru you, and then it just doesn't matter. Like, you're just losing twice as hard. But the thing here is, you open up any level 4 plus Abyss Shark, you still can get to a Link 4, or in this case, if you open up Tang, you can get to Link 4 plus Wave Search with Toad on 5th summon. It ends up being way more impactful because you're actually able to check Nibiru, like in this example we're seeing here. Sure, if this was like, you know, a Spring Girl or something, or a Pascalis, this combo probably could make a rank 4, but it doesn't matter because it's going to die to Nibiru anyways. Friend plays with the Marincess cards. Water Enchantress is a water, and Tang F on normal isn't required apparently. Yeah, no, I played Brave Marincess for a little while. I don't like it because you can't use Coral Triangle when you start right. I did play the adventure stuff in the deck for like a couple weeks. It seemed really strong at first, but it makes the deck like 1,000 times more susceptible to draw, and you're essentially trading one interruption for another. Like, any hand that starts with right can't get you to wave because of Coral Triangle's card text, which says you can't summon anything other than waters the turn you use that effect to search. So you're trading that Wave Search, which I think Wave is way better than Griffin Rider in my opinion. And Coral Triangle is just a good card. Sure, you can get into the grave for follow-up, but I'd rather search Wave. And that's kind of what I came to the conclusion with. So, but either way, I mean, it does have cool synergies, but like for me, that was just like the deal breaker. Monster removal in general still hurts a lot. My friend who is dedicated Marincess player hates ogres, but yeah. I mean, obviously, in some hands, if you're really afraid of ogre, you don't have to use the blue tang. You can just normal literally any level 4. Spring Girl, Pascalis, blue tang, plus a Bishark is a really, really high value combo. Yeah, I mean, it does beat Nibiru. That is true, but like other things beat it as well. Like it does beat Nibiru, but also at the same time, it just like makes the deck like more susceptible to Droll. Which like Droll normally isn't great against the deck, but when you play the Adventure Engine, like it makes it way more susceptible to. And then you can't search Wave also. Like I played the Virgin. Like I know. Like I definitely see his perspective, for sure, but it does have drawbacks. When I first started playing the Adventure build, I was like, this shit is busted. Then after a little while, I was like, okay, this is not that busted. But so yeah, we're gonna go for this is basically the standard combo still. So we get our Battle Ocean. You don't need to search dive here. Mana in effect, summon itself out. Make triangle. Then we add back. Triangle effect, pitch, grab wave. And the cool thing with this combo is you don't make Blue Slug until the very end. So Blue Slug ends up getting you a card back for follow-up anyways. Kind of looked like we weren't going to have follow-up there, but we get it anyways off the Slug. And we're able to completely check Nibiru here, which is super strong. And he tries to Nibiru before we leave main 2. And, you know, he opts he Nibirus before we leave main 2. I opt to negate, obviously. And then I take the Nibiru, which I actually don't think I should have been able to set it to the field. Because I can only special summon waters. I don't know if that conflicts with, then if you do set it, I don't know if that's, like, treated as a special summon or not. But yeah, it doesn't matter here, obviously. My opponent's going to pass turn, draws opening, pitches chain, we wave the Aliber, he grabs Patchwork, he goes Poly, I negate, Patchwork, I Ash, and that's just it. Yeah, okay. I kind of figured. But it obviously didn't matter there. So we're gonna go to game 3, and yeah, Valor Aliber. He has the cross out. Branded Fusion. Dump Zombie World. My friend here didn't realize. And here we have a Bishark plus level 4 again, really strong. My opponent didn't realize. My opponent didn't realize that this card absolutely does really like nothing against my deck, which is kind of funny. So he goes for the Zombie World. Doesn't really do anything because everything pretty much just takes Marincess monsters or water monsters. Yeah. So we're just kind of chilling here, and I held the Abyss Shark here, because I felt like I didn't really need it. I guess if he had rock, he had rock anyways. Like I would just hold the extenders till later on to try to go for game. Ash is the triangle, which is understandable. Then we go for the Abyss Shark here, and this is the other thing about Abyss Shark too that I really liked a lot. Is that you can what is it? Use it to like not just make exceeds plays like later in the turn. You can just use it to link climb, which is really strong. So we obviously summon the Angler last, and then we go for the Argonaut, and then we go for Kragan, add back, and then we're gonna pop the Aliber, which I should have put this in attack position. And we bounce back the Mirror Jade too, because I don't want him to be able to have the end phase effect trigger to blow everything up. And then we get our add back off of the Slug. End phase Albion for Branded Fusion, just fine. Draws Branded Red for turn. He obviously leads with Branded Fusion. I have to negate that. Can't let that go through. And then I guess he read this incorrectly. It says negate the activated effect, not the activation. So he thought he could just go get another one and activate it. I was like, that's not how that works. So we went and got Brandon in red. Fuses for Quartus. Yes, everything on the field is water, but this is still a Despia monster, and he still had Albaz. Yeah, and then he goes battle phase, attack over it because he zeroed everything out because this wasn't unaffected. And then he just passes turn. I draw Ash for turn, so I was like, okay, yeah, this is just game. We'll pop, burn for 1250, Ash the float effect, and that's just game. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, if they Ash Abyss Shark, that means they're not Ashing your Sea Angel or your Triangle, which is just super strong. And then if they have Nibiru on top of that, they need, obviously, 2 hand traps, which is obviously a lot less likely for them to have. This is round 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is round 5. How's it going, Brew Move? What do you think to my Arch Nemesis Elijah Green's deck list? Like, I like his list a lot. Do I know Ghost Note? No. I do not. Who it is on DB? No. So this is against my friend Connor. And also, another thing about this tournament, too, this was a 16-man tournament. We had 14 people sign up. We needed 2 more. So my friend Dalen, host of the tournament, was like, okay, since we can't get 2 more people, it was like 2 people that are already in the tournament can enter a second time. I was one of those people, so I paid the $12 entry once, and then I paid it again. So I was in the bracket twice, and so was my friend Connor here. We were the only 2 people that were in the bracket twice. And I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the first round for my other entry into the tournament. The last one we watched was my last round in the winner's bracket. This is the first round in the winner's bracket for my other thing. He's playing this Gravekeeper Dogmatica Dragoon deck, which I was like kind of intrigued by. I know he plays fusion decks, and I know he plays Dino. I wasn't expecting this. Also, you're going to see Sound Langler come in clutch here to help make an early Toad. I'll play around the Nibiru, and we go ahead and bring that back. Go for Angel. Angel's going to, Tang's going to get us a free spring, and Angel's going to go ahead and get us Battle Ocean. We also have the Mandarin coming in clutch here, too. Go for Triangle, add back, pitch to search, grab the wave, and we link for the Slug. Slug grabs back the Seahorse. Go for Argonaut, equip, set Droplet, pass play. He leads with the Gravekeeper's Recruiter, so as soon as I see all of this, I was just like, what is he playing right now? I have no idea what he's playing. He goes Ecclesia effect to search. I wave that. I probably didn't need to wave that, because like even if he gets punishment, or if he gets Fleur, like I could just have wave to check it next turn and make everything unaffected to like deal with his traps. Yeah, so here, like, I feel pretty safe having Toad. I think maybe I got a little greedy here. I just go past Glisten to Tang. Tang dumps Seahorse, and then I just go Battle Phase. I mean, this card's actually coming up quite a bit right now. So, like this card's actually, like, really good here. Then he goes Punishment. Punishment on the Tang. I chain Droplet to dodge it, make it fizzle, and I negate the Ecclesia. That way, like, Toad and Argonaut can run it over and stuff. So Toad goes to attack over it. Pascalis goes over. We swing in for 43. And main phase 2, I summon the Seahorse and use Argonaut to bounce the Seahorse in the Necro Valley so I can do more plays in the grave here. Well, I guess, like, so I can Spring Girl to make, like, another rank 4. Huge overextension on my behalf, because he had a strike. And then I pass after that. I negate his Spiritualist. He sets one and passes. It's a Judgment. He could have Judgment to the blue Tang there, but, like, it would have been just game on just sheer damage anyways. Okay, so this is another situation where I actually thought about this one for a good while after. I remember going on like a couple walks the day of and the day after this, trying to think like, how could I have won this turn here? It all depends on a couple random things. Obviously no Ash for Red Eyes Fusion feels bad. He's gonna set 3 and pass. I draw Cosmic for turn. So yeah, this was tough. I think the play would have been to have pitch. I can't remember what the play was to pitch here. I know the Dragoon negates there. What do I start with? I go Signet, pitch, crossover. I think this was the mistake. I think it had to be Signet, pitch, Cosmic, or Signet, pitch, Ocean. Or Signet. I just don't think pitching Crosswipe was correct. He lets the Signet go through. And then I chain the Droplet. He has Judgment. And then I add the Blue Tang. And then I go normal Blue Tang. And yeah, so if I had kept the Crosswipe, I could go chain Crosswipe, tribute this off, attempt to pop the set, which I don't even know if he would Dragoon negate that. Actually, no, I think Battle Ocean was the card to get rid of, because if I just hold Dive, yeah, but he's still able to pop it with the punishment there, because I didn't have Crosswipe to dodge it. And then I go activate Battle Ocean, activate Dive. Obviously, he's just gonna Dragoon negate it, and then end phase Tinaclad gets the Ecclesia, gets punishment, gets insight, swings for a lot of damage, and I draw the Angler, and that is just the game. Also, I forgot to mute that. Game 3 here. He has evenly Ash, so a couple going second cards. Ash is the Sea Angel, which is correct. We just do our classic Splash Mage route, go for Anemone, bring back Splash Mage, activate Battle Ocean, go for Argonaut, and add back, and then equip. And I set one Cosmic, hold the other, just for a Floodgate. Obviously, we negate the evenly. Let this go through. There's really nothing to, like, Ash here. There's really nothing that he's doing that's super threatening. And then he has this. And this needs Necro Valley on field to be able to play. So I go on summon. We're going to go ahead and Cosmic the Necro Valley. And then he sets one and passes. Cosmic we held. We hit the Judgment with. Bounce. And then normal summon. Bring back the Splash Mage, which is, I guess, not there. Because DB is weird. But yeah. That was that match. So that was round 1 for my other account. And then this is round. Yeah, this is his other account too. This is later in the tournament. In this one, he's actually on Dino. This one was scary too. Dino's a very scary matchup for this deck. This always seems like a very scary matchup. We have Blue Tang, Abyss Shark, and he has Nibiru. So you're going to see this combo line come in clutch yet again. We get Toad on 5th summon, which is just so extremely important. He tries to nib. Obviously, I'm going to negate. Shouldn't have been able to set that. But, yeah, it doesn't matter. You'll see. For some reason, I didn't know that. Actually, did I do anything that waterlocked me? Because he did that. I guess it was the Anemone that, because he didn't make it very clear what he was activating Nibiru on. I'm assuming it was on the activation of Anemone. And chain Toad in response. And then Toad would set before Anemone resolves. I think I could have possibly set it there. I don't know. But regardless, combo's going to continue here. Yes, we can't summon anything else from hand for the rest of the turn, but again, the Silent Angular restriction, most of these combos doesn't actually matter because Mandarin is so clutch in them. And then we go for the Argonaut. And he has Lost World, which is kind of insane. How do I put it? He has Lost World plus Archosaur. I have to wave the Archosaur before it's too late because of the Lost World. Like, I guess I could have negated the effect of Lost World to summon with the Argonaut. I guess I could have done that. But holding it for Pill is also just as strong. He tries to run over the token with the Secure Guard. I'm like, you can only attack the Argonaut. Then he goes Terraforming for Mystic Mine. So this is where that nice little Signet Crosswipe's going to come in clutch. We play the back and forth game. There's the Crosswipe. And yeah, that just ends up being game right there. And we're into game 2. Which, yeah, game 2, my opponent made me go first, which I was not expecting. Should have probably expected that just because the Dino deck can go second very, very easily. And Mandarin, I guess, is like... Mandarin literally is like the MVP of this whole tournament. I keep forgetting to mute that, my apologies. Mandarin is like literally the MVP of this entire tournament. Letting me combo through interruptions and stuff and like making the Abyss Shark combos work. Standby phase, we get a draw. And he's going to go for Lost World. Again, this card's insane. Like, I have to wave the Baby Sarasaurus here just to, like, make Bubble Reef unaffected. And it's a use it or lose it situation, too. Hello, Josh Comics. Then he goes for Oviraptor. Pop, bring back. Baby effect, summon this out. Meanwhile, this is gaining attack because he's banishing a bunch of things. The Veilers in my hand are dead. Very, very bad situation to be in right now. He gets Pank. Like, there's literally just nothing I can do to this. Like, he goes Pank in the draw phase, which, you know, attributes for cost. Which, I'm trying to think now. I mean, in draw phase, I have priority, so I could have draw phase dropleted first, hitting all 3 things. But even then, I don't think it matters. Solely because I have no way to get the... What I needed to happen was to clear my whole field of monsters, which I couldn't do. Which I could have swore I timed out. Okay. I wanted to check my list to see if there was an Area of the Water Charmer in there. Because I could have just linked off the token in the Bubble Reef. And then crashed the area. Got a search. And then triangled. Because draw phase, like, I must have felt like okay passing priority to that. Because I definitely shouldn't have. I try to crash the token to see if he doesn't save it. But he does. Obviously, we go game 3. Game 3, Anti-Spell Wave, open up. There's Mandarin literally glued to my hand. It's a 1-of, by the way. And then this is just going to be standard combo here, too. Go for Slug, go for Angel, get Battle Ocean. You know, go for Splash Mage here. Which I could have gone Anemone, too. I could have gone Anemone. Which I guess I'm just doing that anyways. And I guess I did that because I didn't need to search Wave, but having the triangle follow-up would have been nice. And I just hold everything. We have the Anti-Spell, which is going to trade with the... You know, he's got a Droplet right away. And then he's going to go ahead and summon out a Pank, which is going to out the Anti-Spell, which is pretty terrifying. I'm going to go for Ovi. I have to wave that. And he has UCT, which is kind of insane. I'm going to go for a rank 4 in that of Dolka. Run over... And he never attacked with the Dolka, which I thought was very odd. And my opponent, for a lack of a better word here, fucks up. Because he lets the Seahorse walk. And letting the Seahorse walk is a huge mistake because I can link it into Slug, and Slug is now 3,500. Like, a lot of people will just outright not expect that. Like, your one normal summon, your 1,400 normal summon, to turn into a 3,500 beat stick. So we clear the Dolka, we go sign it to Ash, then we go into Anemone, and then we go into Marbled Rock and equip. And then we go ahead and add back the wave, and we play the control game here. He has a Kaiju, which is insane off the top. And then he's going to go ahead and recycle the Seahorse. You know, we kind of like try again next turn. And a pass, draw Ash. He has to book there, getting rid of his own UCT, top deck anti-spell. Now we're in this like top deck war. Search that and equip. On res, he has the anti-spell, so I can't dive. Swinging for 3k, draws Lost World. And yeah, that is just it right there. Man, if there's a water charmer in my extra deck, I'm gonna just be upset of that game too. So I think that was the final. That was the last match that I had to play. I'll pull up the bracket on my phone here. Because let's see. Yeah, so round 1 I played against, on my one account, I played against DDD, then Sword Soul, then Gravekeeper Dogmatica. Won those 3. And then the other account I played against Plant Therion, Despia, Dino. So 6-0. So that put both of my accounts in the winners finals against each other, which I actually played against my friend Adam, and he was on my winner kills account. And we played a mirror match as like an exhibition, right? I won because my friend Adam does not really know how to play Marincess, so fair enough. So that put me into the grand finals guaranteed, and then I put my other account in losers finals because it was a double elimination bracket, and then I had to wait for the whole losers bracket to wrap up. And this is losers finals. And if I win this one, I get first and second, which is obviously what ended up happening. If I lose it, I can get first and third, because my opponent here had to beat me 3 times in order to get first. It's just the way it works on challenge in the double elim bracket. But my friend Andy here, Andy Bobandy, on the Cyber Therion tactic, and I played this one last night. This is actually a pretty good match, and you're gonna see Mandarin again, literally just glued to my hand. Yeah, so he's got Droplet, Core, Overflow, Emergency, Cyber Dragon to our Pascalus, Mandarin, Ocean, Droplet being, or Nibiru. And I knew my opponent. It's just like anytime you go to a big tournament, right? You're in Top Cut. You know so-and-so is playing this deck. You know so-and-so. You hear it through the grapevine. You see it on the feature match, etc., etc. So I knew my opponent was playing Cyber Dragon. So I was like, I have to make a play that doesn't auto-lose to Contact Fusion on my Link. That's the roughest thing about playing this deck against, like, Cyber Dragon is, like, Contact Fusion or Kaiju. And I was like, okay, I need to be able to make a board that doesn't outright lose to that. You'll see a little bit of that sauce right here. We're going to go for our normal line, which gets us into Argonaut with the equips. I still have Dive available. Still haven't used Slug, and I haven't used Blue Tang. So I'm like, at this point, if he has Nib, he has Nib. There was no line I really could take to beat Nib. And if anything, I would have expected him, like, I would say typically the Nibiru check is on Triangle. A lot of people will hit you with Nibiru there, or like on the Anemone. So at this point, I'm like, odds are probably my favor he doesn't have it. If he has it, I just lose regardless, like whether he does it like at the beginning or at the very end. So I dump the Sleepy Maid in there just because I need another extender, and I get a Spring Girl too, which is also kind of clutch. So we add these back, and then we go ahead and activate Sleepy, go into Splash Mage. Splash Mage bring back the Sleepy, go for Marbled Rock. Marbled Rock, add back the Blue Tang. So now, if I get Contact Fusioned, if I get hit with the Jizikuru, I can still have a a way to use Wave by having Marbled Rock up. I have 2 Marincess names in hand to be able to negate 2 attacks, and we have Nibiru and Droplet. So we're kind of in a good position. And as expected, he does Contact Fusion away the Argonaut, which I was totally expecting. We're going to go ahead and Anemone, add back, so I can negate 3 attacks. He's got Disc Coliseum. Starting to sweat a little bit. Side of Emergency, go ahead and grab the Hers. And then from here he goes Regulus effect to equip. And then normals out core. I go to Droplet the core, sending 2. And my opponent goes ahead and chains a Droplet in response here, sending off the core, so I can't Droplet it. So his Droplet resolves, which I was thinking about chaining Wave there, but I was like, then he can just negate with Regulus. That doesn't matter. Or I could have waved, hitting the Regulus, and then chain Droplet. I was trying to think of a way like I can get my Marbled Rock unaffected beforehand. I guess the only way to do it would have been to send off Battle Ocean and the Rock. That way he can't respond with a Droplet of his own. And then chain Wave? I guess that's something I could have done. But either way, it really... I could have definitely played this a little bit more optimal, but it doesn't matter for the most part. So he's still going to get a Search. And, yeah. Got a step ahead. Get Repair Plant first, then get Galaxy Soldier, then Soldier Effect, discard Hers. I mean, I can still Wave here regardless on something that's kind of important. And also, one thing we forgot for a split second, I do catch it, but his Mega Fleet is halved. It's at 1,200. I'm at 1,350. Yeah, I'm at 27, which puts me to 1,350. This is at 14. This is at 12, because he forgot, and I kind of forgot that this got Dropleted, because once the core left the field, I still had to negate 2, so I had to hit those 2 and couldn't hit the core. So I was like, wait, you know, I take a little extra damage, more damage than I should have, but we go back and fix it. So he has to swing over this for 50, and then never ends up attacking with this, even though he could have, but end phase this goes to 0 because Droplet things. Triangle, he negates with Regulus, as you should. Pascalus gets us back dive. We dive someone from deck. And then he goes ahead and activates Overflow here, which I was also very curious as to why he used Overflow. Because, like, the Pascalus is still going to resolve. Sure, I lose Battle Ocean and a body, which is kind of good. But, you know, Blue Tang is still just... Blue Tang is just full combo. Get another dive. You know, free card. Grab the Seahorse. And at this point, the hardest thing to, like, deal with was, like, with this card is, like, the hardest thing about his board right now is the Disc Coliseum, like, trying to figure out how to get rid of it. We bring back the Banished Marbled Rock, and then we equip, and then we go Battle Phase. He takes 3,800 there, and then he uses the Disc Coliseum to add back, not to protect. Well, he uses both effects still, I think. Yeah, he dumped one off of the Galaxy Soldier, and then he added back off the destruction of the Mega Fleet. Okay. And then main phase 2, I go Signet to go ahead and add back, to add a Blue Tang, just so I have the ability to negate an attack. Standby phase, draw into a Spring Girl, banishing this so I can get it back off of the Bubble Reef. Goes Regulus, equip Regulus, go for core, go for emergency, and at this point, I also know that he doesn't play a second Mega Fleet, and even if he does, right, I still have Marbled Rock to be able to use Wave. And since I don't see him Contact Fusion, I'm like, okay, so he definitely doesn't play a second Mega Fleet. And most of the time I played him at locals, he never has the second Mega Fleet. He does play this one, but this doesn't come up in this matchup because nothing's machine. So I'm just like letting everything go through. The Natcher is not really a threat because there's no like infinity in his graveyard. And then he goes for Ding. And then I wave the Ding because he's gonna get Zeus regardless. But if I let the Ding resolve to attach, then he gets a format Zeus, which is gonna be really hard to deal with. So I was like, you know what? I'll just take the one Send Zeus over the 2. And negate the attack on the Spring Girl. Then standby phase, draw Ash. He lets me get to main phase, then I just go Marbled Rock, add back. Just lets that resolve. Normal summon Blue Tang, Chain Wave, and then the game is pretty much just over for me. Kragan pop and burn, and that's gonna be game. Mega Fleet becomes 0 after drop it because it forgets, just like Apo. Yeah. So like its attack gets frozen first, like half, and then end phase comes around when it's no longer negated and goes to 0. So this is game 2 of the final match. Opening hands, we have Maiden, Dive, Droplet, Droll, and Tang. Imperm, Cyber Emergency, Droplet, Nib, and Dupe. So we're gonna go for Blue Tang, dump, activate 3, we miss, grab back the Seahorse, and we go ahead and summon the Seahorse, the Angel. He imperms the Angel, good hand trap there. Go for Anemone, bring back. Go for Triangle, attempt to add back. And he does that on the summon of Triangle. And then we go Dive, bring back. We have the Maiden to keep extending here. And I was like, okay, what do I go into? There was a couple options. I was like, do I go into like a Splash Mage play here? Which I think is what I end up doing. Yeah. Splash Mage, go for Marbled Rock, add back the Dive. Then Sleeping Maiden equip the Anemone. The only reason I did this, though, is that if the Marbled Rock leaves, I get to add back a card. Which I was expecting it to leave because just of Contact Fusion. So I might as well take advantage of the removal that he gets. Droll on res. I know Droll is huge against this deck. He has the Machine Dupe. I have to drop with it so he can't summon 2 free Cyber Dragons. You can send off the Anemone for free to negate. Summons out 2 cores. Contact Fusions, as expected, goes for Lina, attacks over token, and swings in 454. And at this point, I'm like, okay, we're kind of in a good spot. So long as like the card in his hand isn't like a Nibiru, that'd be kind of rough. We go for the Soul Charge. He droplets the Anemone, which I was like, okay, not too big a deal. I wanted to try to get into an Argonaut here to bounce the Lina because I didn't want him to search Nibiru. Be able to use it. And I'm also paying attention that he has Core in Graveyard, which he can use if I'm the only one that controls monsters, and that gives him a free body to contact with, or just gives him a play, and also makes up the Cyber Dragon side. So I was like, you know what? I don't necessarily need to clear his field here, because like I definitely can't OTK. Core has to activate even under Droll because it's mandatory at 1 search. Oh, okay. That is good to know. I didn't realize Core was mandatory. But that is good to know. But kind of losing my train of thought. I'm trying to set up like a double link board here. So again, like even if I lose my EMZ link, I can still wave. I'm also trying to set up a rank 4 because, I can't go for a game here because if I kill the Lina, he can grab Nibiru, which is kind of huge. Puts him in, like, a rough spot, though, because, like, he can't summon Cyber Dragon, he can't use Core Engrave, and it puts him on top deck. I also just want him to be able to, like, search the best card in his deck, like, one of the best cards in his deck, which he could search Galaxy Soldier with that, which is kind of relevant. And this is where Mandarin's going to come in clutch here. We add back that. Mandarin summon, go for Marbled Rock. Carver's Banishes gain 6. Effect, discard, summon back. Make another rank 4. Maiden's going to equip. And it's going to gain another 6. So we just attack over for 800 and we just pass. Then my face drawn to wave. I'm literally just insane. At this point, I was like, okay, this was just destined at this point. He goes battle phase, crash. I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'm not going to bother negating that. And based on from what I saw, you know, game 1, I know that there's no second Mega Fleet. So I don't really have to worry about the Mega Fleet. He goes core. I negate. I take. I can actually take this time since I'm not locked into waters. And he just scoops right then and there. So that was the match. I got first and second, $136 with the deck. Go ahead and re-show you guys the deck list here, which is I did have Iria. Why didn't I? Oh my goodness, man. That Dino match was so scuffed then. That was so scuffed. I've been liking Marincess a lot. I've been liking Marincess a lot. We're going to be starting one deck a month again. What do you think about Speedroids right now? We'll get to that in a second. It's interesting that you asked that. But yeah, that is the Marincess deck profile and turn report. That Dino match should have gone so much different. Yeah, because priority draw phase, droplet. I need to go back to that. What was that, 6? 7? Yeah. I need to go back to this. It was game 2, right? I need to rewatch this really quickly. Because Iria is in my extra deck. I don't know why I didn't think it was. Must have just been the sheer nerves, honestly. I'm impressed with Marincess right now. There's a buddy of mine that has been playing it forever and has recently stomping locals. Sounds about right. Marincess is very, very strong right now, especially if people aren't prepared for it. It's a very strong deck, so love that for your friend. So yeah, this is the game. This is what I have in hand. Wave just to make the bubble reef unaffected so I don't die. Burns the battle phase. I'm not really a huge fan of Sea Nettle. I don't think it's any better than Abyssark because they both have like the same summoning requirements. Sure, one can be normal summon, but normal summoning a Nettle doesn't get you anything. Obviously, we don't have any other Marincess names. I think Abyssark just gives you... It's one card that gets you 2. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. When I first started playing Marincess with the new support, I loved Nettle. That card was insane. But as time went on, I was like, I don't really need this card. It's not really that great. Resource management about it was really nice, but you just don't need that at the end of the day if you build your extra deck correctly. If you want to like fit a bunch of extra things in, like cut down on some things, then you definitely need the Nettle. So it just really depends. I'm just trying to see, because he had 3 interruptions that I had to clear. And he just passes. Draw phase with priority. Droplet, pitch this. Droplet this, and this. And then main phase link this and this for Iria. Battle phase, crash it into this. Iria would be down by 500 to be at 1350. We'd be able to crash with this, right? Gotta do quick maths. Yeah, we'd be able to crash into the Dino for 400. We'd search. We'd triangle. And then I'd have to get into an Argonaut. I mean, this just being on field still is still very rough. Well, actually, no, it's not, because we would have gotten rid of the token. We'd have to Kragan pop something, and we have to have Argonaut bounce. And we'd have to get Wave back for it to remotely matter, but I should have played this way differently. Because if I'm draw phase pitching monsters, he can't respond with anything. I don't know why. I just didn't think of that in the moment. That's totally a tech play error on my behalf. And I guess I didn't think about Iria just because the Bubble Reef got popped anyways before I thought I could have a chance to respond, but I did have a chance. So yeah, that's on me. That should have gone much smoother than it did. But that's the list. 2 online cash tournaments. $236. With the well, the other one wasn't playing the shark build, but I've won locals once or twice with the shark build and an online tournament with it as well. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Shout out to the guy that said you didn't need the sharks, and should throw more hand traps in. Then tried to tell me to learn up by showing me his pure build. No, this build is perfectly fine in competitive stuff. Shout out to that. Yeah. But that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. And Winterkill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And last but not least, a huge thank you goes to our Divine Level channel members who are Cadillacs84, Tweeter0226, Pony Stark, HC8 Cyber, and Justin Lamb. Thank you guys so much as always for extremely kind and generous support of the channel.